we have on the top left spawning as the red Terran player. It's going to be playing for Team NV. They recently picked up Maru. Also recently had surgery on his shoulder, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which Team NV was kind enough to cover as well. They picked up all of the cost that were connected to his shoulder injury, I believe.
That's really cool. I was not aware.
Especially because it's not like they had him for a while. Like they picked him up knowing he had an injury and were like, all right, we'll take care of that, buddy, which I think is an extremely classy move. So big props to them for that. In the bottom right, spawning as the blue Protoss player is going to be ShoWTimE 04 so far, but it's just a bit unfortunate. He hasn't looked weak. He hasn't looked bad. He just hasn't looked good enough today.
Yeah. And good enough is a really high mark when the other two players that are eliminated with you are Bjan and Solar as well. So,
the level is different than your average EPT Cup. That's also usually played on the Monday. So,
also very hard though because Big Gabe shows up obviously, as he does today as well. By the way, even though he does have his group, in 2 days he's still collecting the EPT cash.
$200 to be won. My man Gabe is there, man. There's 2 group matches that he doesn't need to win now. All right. We have a Pro Scout trying to be annoying once again. We have Maru opening up with a Marine first. And ShoWTimE just opening up with your standard core opener. 147 CC goes down. ShoWTimE isn't going to be too upset by this. He's actually poking back in to see, hey, what's kicking off here. Doesn't see a Marine. And he's probably going to repoke one more time to make sure, hey, what is that Marine timing? So you can go in at like 207, 208. Reaper will be long gone. And if there's no Marine yet, yep, there we go. If there's no Marine yet at this point, then you can go, hey, that's weird. Then it's probably just a Reaper first. But now he sees it. He knows, okay, this is a Reaper first. Sees the bunker go down. He opened it with an Adept, so it's not going to be too big of a deal that the bunker starts. Like, if ShoWTimE would have opened with a Stalker, and you don't have a bunker, it's a big deal. But if you he opened factory before reactor, didn't he?
Pretty early factory, yes. So this is a similar timing with the factory as if it was a gas first Reaper opening. So very similar timing, and because of it, he doesn't have the 3 Marines, and because of that, he went for the bunker in order to be safe. And ShoWTimE finally mixes it up. We saw him play Stargate 3 games in a row last time, and now against maybe a little bit more of an aggressive player, where I would rather see the Stargate. Or could this be a DT drop even?
No. Or? Well, it could be, but it's most likely going to be Blink. 4-gate. Mm-hmm. Very, very good map for 4-gate Blink. Like, extremely good. It's still possible that it's DT as well, but we don't see a probe there. We see Blink starting now. So, yeah.
Ooh,
most likely going... Sorry?
Double mine production, so we're going to see 4 mine drop probably, right?
So he's going to try to poke in with 2 cars, and then afterwards he'll drop. Or what he does, he drops in the main base or in the natural, and then walks in with 2 cars, as the units move away from the wall. None of these builds are actually this build isn't actually that great against 4-gate Blink. You have a decent amount of Stalkers, because you get 3 cycles of factory units. You're actually going to be pretty late on your tanks, instead of just like 2 factory units or something like that. If he gets another medevac, he's in a crap ton of trouble. Okay, this is good for him.
Also, obviously, this Marine production starts a little bit later, but he did switch it back straight to the factory. So I'm assuming he's going to produce tanks, which he does. And let's see what the Widowmine drop can do as the Hellions poke forward. They see no shield battery here.
Yeah, not really necessary if you're playing 4-gate, right? Drop is being dealt with very, very well. ShoWTimE is... Okay.
Jinxed.
Yeah, jinxed indeed. And there's still 2 mines in the medevac. And those are going to be quite annoying. Maru also sees, hey, wait a second. 2 in the natural, 2 in the main. 2 plus 2. Manages to get 4 out of that. And he now knows exactly what's going on. Starts throwing down bunkers. As soon as he can, basically. This mine is going to end up falling as well. The Hellions... Oh! Hellions are going to run in and actually tank a shot, so the mine gets 1 more shot. 7-8 work. That's a lot of workers that went down in the last 3 seconds there of all these units.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very bad for ShoWTimE, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not good, especially because the first tank is out already. This delayed his move out by a lot. Usually 5-10, 5-12 is when you want to be blinking in with 9 to 10 stalkers. Right now, he's not there yet. He's going to be 15, 16, 17 seconds late. He's going to pick up a medevac, but unless you're killing tanks at this point, I'm not sure how useful it actually is. He can't really blink into the main. Can't blink into the natural either. This is not the move. Doesn't even get the bunker. Loses a stalker. This observer, is it being spotted? No, it's not being spotted. Yeah, it's hard to say exactly what has been seen here. Now he blinks into the main base, but tank in a perfect position gets 2 volleys off as well. And another stalker goes down. Third tank pops out, I believe. Yep, third tank. And now Maru is pretty much safe, honestly. I don't really see a way for ShoWTimE here to break this. Follow-up for Maru is going to be 3 racks as well. So there's going to be some aggressive follow-up here. Robo base being constructed. We have 12 stalkers total. This tank is in range of this as well, or at least partly in range. It's not looking good for our German players anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be very, very difficult to hold a Raven push. And to be honest, Maru doesn't even need to push yet because ShoWTimE doesn't have a third base. So it's not like he's ahead in the workers and then barely needs to try and defend the push. It's not like he's far ahead in tech as well. He doesn't have any tech units yet. He doesn't even have a sentry or something at home. No immortal. And he's trying to get out charge, obviously, so he's going to try to warp a bunch of zealots and colossus, but I feel like defending the first move out of Maru alone is going to be a challenge in itself.
I think he could have gotten a tank in the natural, though. He had 12 stalkers. You need 11 stalkers to one-shot. So I think that would have been a possibility, and then you probably have some more play from there on out. Now with 4 tanks out, it's going to be rough, honestly. It's really going to be rough. He needed to do something more. I think just harassing the SCVs isn't good enough if you lose 8 workers in the early game yourself. 47 against 53, 49 against 53. Yeah, Maru is going to be very happy with that. He's on decent production as well with a ShoWTimE on 4 gateways still. He's going to be adding 2 more at this point. Thermal lens is being constructed. Oh my god, I was about to say he needs to snipe the Raven, and he got it. That's very big.
That is very big. The tank count still is super, super high for this push, but he's delaying it quite a bit, so good play by ShoWTimE here. Being active with the stalkers on the other side of the map, and buying himself some time, and also weakening the potential of a push significantly with picking off that Raven.
Yeah, it's otherwise these colossi or this singular colossi at this point is not going to do that well, you know. If it's just disabled, tanks will siege up, and there's not enough zealots to truly jump on that. So you would need to be on the map, but being on the map with the army that ShoWTimE currently has is pretty difficult. Prism in the main base is forcing. Well, it's not really forcing Maru to go back, but Maru decides to go back home, afraid of another warp in. Now decides, you know what, I can hold it, but actually, I'm not quite sure if he can. ShoWTimE doing a lot of damage here with this Zealot run by. There is a battery in the natural. There's a bunch of force fields. This was a really good Prism warp, and if he gets the recall off, this is fantastic.
And he does get it, so he has it back home to micro as well as units. Now Maru is sieging up in an annoying position, but this isn't an immediate threat yet towards the army, so it's not like he's stimming on top of the army already. Now the Robo is actually in range of the tanks, but the third Colossus should get out. And I think ShoWTimE with the last couple of moves, again, brought it back a little bit here. Very similar to how the series have been going so far for him in this matchup.
Yeah. And yeah, that, like you said, that position down there is nice, but he can't hit the Nexus, and the Colossi can just outrange the Marine. So he's gonna lose a Robo here, but he already is on triple Colossi. As long as Maru doesn't get that main ramp, which I guess he's about to get right now, I don't think there's much of a hurry here for ShoWTimE. And the moment he does get that main ramp, as long as you don't lose your battery, you're fine. Oh, no. ShoWTimE. That's really, really big, because that battery allows your Colossi to attack the tanks while being super healed by the overcharged battery. It was a good blink, sadly didn't get that Viking. Losing that battery is super big. We really can't understate how big that is. Now he still has a battery on the left side, but now he's in this weird type of split where I'm not quite sure how he's exactly supposed to move. I think sending out like 10 zealots towards the left side wouldn't be a bad play, whether that's for a flank or for cutting off reinforcements. I think he kind of needs something. He needs to force Maru into this position, because if Liberator 3 and 4 show up here, you're never going to break it ever again.
At the very least, he wants to counter drop with the War Prism, so maybe if he forces Maru to engage into him while doing a lot of damage, that would be the idea, obviously, behind this move. And Maru has been rallying most of his units back, so the War Prism is gonna find an empty mineral line here, and there are no units left at home by Maru, who just moved forward with pretty much everything. So let's see. The War Prism is so low, I'm not even sure if he can get an extra warp in here.
Yeah, this Liberator is actually going to take out a War Prism. One of these rare moments of Liberator's anti-air actually doing something against Protoss. There's so many Marauders for Maru as well. I was going to try to right-click the Nexus. ShoWTimE not quite paying attention. Maru's not going to get it. Good flank coming out of ShoWTimE's going in with absolutely everything. Not all of the units of Maru were on the ground yet, but I'm not quite sure if ShoWTimE's going to have enough here. The tanks, the Liberators and the mines. This position was completely entrenched. ShoWTimE realizes it now, but there's really not that much that he can actually do about this. He doesn't have detection to clean up the mines. He can't just walk into these tanks and get these free shots off. This is looking very, 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 very bad. Once these reinforcements get added to this army, ShoWTimE's going to be in a world of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Maru even borrowing the Widow Mines and saving them with a short stem forward, and now he has to go because Maru's reinforcements haven't joined up with the main army yet, and he does get a cleanup, and he also had a Fort Nexus behind this. The problem is Maru is not slowing down. He has a Fort CC on his own, and he has a double E-base going now. He started +2, whereas ShoWTimE is working on 1-1 right now. Fort CC being done, and Ghost also, the transition is coming. And ShoWTimE, even though he did clean it up, he lost most of his expensive units, so it's not like he remained with his Colossus count intact. He only mostly had Stalkers left over with a couple of Immortals, which is not what you want to spread us.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to be easy to get back into Colossi either at this point. The only thing I see as semi-viable for him is to throw down a second Robo. Wait, he still has a Robo, right? Yeah, one Robo in the wing. And get a couple of Disruptors out. Yeah, Colossi is not the answer right now. You're going to need some good Disruptor shots and hope for the best. The Marauder count is simply too high, and there's just not enough body here for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, and these Liberators are even gonna siege up. He was slightly out of position with the Stalkers, so he can't even hit them as they siege forward, and now he feels forced to engage.
Clears all the mines initially, which honestly I didn't expect. If these mines burrow, this position is never going to get broken, and I honestly don't think it even matters here. Quite overstimmed is Maru, but what is there for ShoWTimE? It's better to have a lot of units with little HP than little units with full HP. As ShoWTimE has to retreat back to his third base. Maru's fort is mining already, and it's standing strong there with a planetary scan forward. Liberator siege up, 2 more mines join as well. Single Disruptor will need to get the shot of a lifetime, and then Maru needs to not do anything for a minute and a half. Yeah, it's not going to be a long.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And GG is called. Maru takes the 1-0 lead in the series.
Ay. ShoWTimE very close to 0-5 right now, which would be a pity for him. He has shown though that he is capable of playing once again a pretty poor situation after that early game and trying his best to fight back. His mid game is actually looking really good. So then it sucks even harder that you never get there. You know, you kind of want to show off how good you are in a phase of the game or in a certain matchup, but he never seems to get there without taking any type of damage, and he's just so far behind at that point. It's painful to watch, honestly.
Yeah, and a small update from the mainstream. Solar took the first map of Clem, so we're actually getting closer to the scenario that has all of these players playing a tiebreaker. Now, I believe that Bjan is the kind of player that plays his absolute best, even if he's eliminated. So I'm not sure. Wait, let me check what the score is there.
Yeah, I wasn't checking. Twitch blocking me.
Same. And now they're not in game, so I can't tell.
Not in game. All right.
I think TY is 1-0. I think TY is 1-0. So we're halfway there. If
everyone
actually,
does their job now.
yeah, if all the Tyrants just keep winning now, we
Oh,
would
but-
actually get a tiebreaker. That would be insane.
and then a potential coin toss, which would be actually insane. And I love it. Oh man, this is just what we need. A little bit of luck.
Clem won the second game. Oh my god, it's getting real.
It's
getting real.
you
We're
know that
one
it's
game away in
happening,
every
Jiff.
series. Yeah, we're one game away from every. Are you serious with the coin toss? Is that actually the rule?
Yeah, the coin toss. Remember, let's see freaking coin toss. It would be perfect as well to decide a
I-
group with only TVTs, you know, the coin toss to end it, the coin toss of all coin toss to end it with. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that would be insane. Well, no way.
There's
No
no
way they would do a coin toss. I mean,
No.
even if they.
They do a coin toss. It's in the rules, man.
But
It's number 7. It says tiebreaker matches on 6, and then 7 is a coin toss.
Does it say how often the tiebreaker is? Like,
No, I think it's either only 1 or 2. I've read the rules on this before, or someone responded to this before.
if it was only once, it would be very weird because that's just 3 games that need to go.
Yeah,
in
but
extra
otherwise
inning.
6 games.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Only 6. You might as well add another 3, go to 9. See, it's a slippery slope argument, Lambo. We don't take these here
Well, this
at
is
the Intel Extreme Masters.
This is what everyone has been working for. This might decide the fate of the world championship at this point, right? So, yeah,
Actually, this is very poch. Oh man.
very
All right, but until we're there, we need a couple. We need the Terrans to do their job, and we need them to do their job well. In the top right, spawning as the Blue Protoss, the man that with a single map win can ruin this pipe dream. It is ShoWTimE, playing for Team Berlin International Gaming, also known as Big. Once again, going for that low ground pylon.
As his opponent spawning in the bottom left, playing for Team Envy, it is Maru.
Nice. All right. Maru. What do you have in store for us? Are we going to see something safe or are we going to see something risky? Last game, you know what it is? These reactor factory builds, they're actually kind of cool because you're only getting three factory cycles, so your tanks are still kind of fast. You're just spending a lot of money on it, so it means your 30C or your extra barracks will get delayed, which isn't that big of a deal. It's you're safe and you put on a lot of aggression. It's really the perfect type of build order, especially if you think you're a little bit better. You want to put some pressure on your opponent so he doesn't quite outgreed you, but you also don't want to play too risky yourself. So I think it's a beautiful build order, and I love the decision on that for Maru, sending out a pretty fast SCV this time.
Yeah, I'm assuming against that type of style though, the Stargate, for example, would have been much easier to hold with than the Blink.
Oh yeah, with the Stargate style, well, the thing is that you're dealing with the Hellions with the Stargate unit, so you can't scout that it's a medevac, as a follow up. So you're not quite sure what's happening. So eventually you need to scout, and it can be quite tricky because you're not quite sure what's up. It's very unit movement dependent and even a little bit coin flippy, I think, in that case for both players, what's going to happen. So it's for sure interesting. This time we are seeing that
same opener.
Yeah, same opener actually.
And ShoWTimE did again confirm that it was Marine first. Maru again going for the bunker, and the last time we saw the setup from ShoWTimE on this map, and I believe it's going to be the same, he went for a Stargate, and since he didn't start the Warp Gate research, looking very much alike.
Yep, definitely. Here we go. Stargate. Bunker coming down for Maru. Oh, Lambo. We're in for a treat here. I'm so curious what we're going to be seeing. I really don't know if he's going to play. He's going to do the same thing again, isn't he? He's actually going to play the exact same thing. This is the logic that I like. It's simple, it's clean. I win, I do it again,
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Now the thing is, this time around, ShoWTimE did mix it up. So
yeah,
this is obviously the thing that's wrong with this logic, is that your opponent also has a brain and can adjust adjust to how the last game went. So yeah. Oh, ShoWTimE actually lets this trade finish. 2 Hellions are out.
I don't mind it. He gets the spot on what's kicking off here. He denies some mining on the natural, even though it's only a single SCV. Sometimes you can even get a mule there, you know, if they're greedy and they land a second mule in the natural. That's a really big deal if you get that mule. It's a second mule. It's expensive stuff. And he can save the phoenixes in his main base right now. That's exactly what he should be doing. Honestly, if you see 3 adepts, do you go in with the medevac? I'm not sure if you do.
I think he does, but I think this might backfire very, very hard. Especially if, because ShoWTimE already knows what the build order was last time, he might expect the same execution. And if you're already expecting something, as a StarCraft player, it's a lot easier if you know exactly what's coming, if you're mentally prepared for it, to actually deal with it.
He's going up to 3 gateways, so he could potentially be getting a counterattack with like 7 adepts and 3-4 phoenixes as well. That is completely viable at this point. Okay, we see the 2 Hellions popping into the natural. No! Don't move out of position there, ShoWTimE. Medevac heading towards the main. Is ShoWTimE going to be quick enough? He has no good vision on the edges of his base. Here comes the Medevac. And the Medevac brings 4 mines. 1 gets picked up. Probes are not moving, ShoWTimE. Gonna get a big hit. 6 probes with a single mine shot. Second mine burrows as well.
No!
Oh my god.
Oh, that hurt so much. He barely didn't get that wooden mine before it died. He tried to clear it up with the probes, and I mean, we don't have the player cams, but I can tell you right now that ShoWTimE's had slightly tilted there in that moment.
Yeah.
Because that is the worst feeling.
Yeah. I think he couldn't really believe that it was going to be 4 mines again. He didn't pull the workers, so it's a bit of an odd choice. It's been a long day, of course, for these guys as well, but that definitely was a mistake. Now the Hellions go and kill 5 more, and yeah, when it rains it pours, Lambo, and it's pouring right now for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, it is. And Maru also actually predicted the Phoenix this time before he even saw anything, made a Cyclone as well as a Viking. So I really doubt that ShoWTimE can even do anything on the other side of the map. And now Maru's just setting up again, and ShoWTimE just keeps getting into such bad positions, and then he plays the game beautifully afterwards. But it doesn't really matter if you just start playing with less units on your opponent.
Yeah, it's so rough to watch if you're a European TOS fan here. ShoWTimE really is the best European Pro Toss player, and he's just lacking that finesse in the early game. And it might just be a bad day, we don't know. But his mid-game understanding, his unit movement overall, and the way he engages have been so good today. It's just frustrating to see him get so far behind every single early game, and it's a little bit painful. He still has 4 Phoenixes. He went into charge rather than the more desired Robo, so in this case it actually works out, because I think Maru was kind of counting on Colossi with that Raven. He was going to pull a Beyond, move across the map with the Raven and collect the win, but there's going to be a bunch of charge lots, so at least that will be nice here for ShoWTimE, that he did get the correct coin flip off there. And he's getting to a decent worker count as well. He did lose a bunch, and his gate count looks fine. This is the nice thing about playing against triple CC, is that you can put all your chrono boost still in your workers. Sure, you're going to be behind, but at least you don't just straight up die while you have 46 workers,
Yeah. Meanwhile, also Maru is producing Widow Mines 2 at a time, and he's getting double upgrades, so it's not like he's completely unprepared for big Zealot numbers either. And if it just goes for delayed timing, I can see it being very, very difficult for ShoWTimE to hold. So if Maru waits for a bigger supply number with a bunch of mines, I think that's what ShoWTimE's response is weak against. In Maru's natural right now, we saw the Adepts trying to shade in, didn't finish that shade. Maru scans ahead to see where the Adepts are headed, and doesn't have concussive shells yet, so I don't think he's going to catch any of those.
No, ShoWTimE a little bit too fast. He's been doing this a lot with these little Adept shades. He did it against TY as well, I want to say on Oxide with like 5 Adepts. Yeah, cute little moves there, which you don't see too often. These Adepts usually they just stay with the main army and then they walk into a mine and they all die at the same time magically. Because these guys tend to clump up like mad because of their short range, and they're not that useful. I like that he uses them in that way, a lot more power. Ooh, he's gonna go for the left base? No, he's gonna get a pylon. I thought if he goes for the left base here, I don't think Maru's ever going to scout that. So I wouldn't even have minded it. I like this Zealot run by. It could either be a run by or it could be used to pick off reinforcements and a potential flank in that way. I wouldn't mind either. Now, mines are setting up. There's 6 mines here.
Yeah. There are a lot of mines. There is only one tank, but the Raven's almost full energy. Oh, good. He tried to drag the Widow Mine fire there to friendly fire on Maru's units, but all the Zealots just disappeared. And I think he just doesn't have enough units. He's down 30 supply. He has half the army supply of Maru, and the moment Maru regroups, it's going to be very hard for him. So ShoWTimE is trying to find a fight right now, but he lost all the Phoenix, so I think he wants to make something happen right now, because the moment Maru picks up the units and starts dropping, what is ShoWTimE going to do?
Yeah, I have no clue. He lost all of his Phoenixes. His Blink started 2 Disruptors on the way to try and fight these mines. With this army, he absolutely can't. This is looking so bad for ShoWTimE. Interference Matrix on one of these Archons. Good split coming out of Maru. Of course, what else do we expect? We shouldn't even be surprised. Army is relatively low in HP, but there's just a little bit too much army. Final Disruptor shot does go off, and ShoWTimE realizes his time is up. He taps